Hey there, this is Amelia here. Welcome to Amelia's crossdressing story. Today we are going to share a story called Trip to Paris Part 5. By Teddy. For more interesting and exclusive stories, please subscribe to my channel and support me at Patreon. I couldn't sleep last night. How come? I got thinking about something. What? Let's go for a walk. Sounds serious. He just shrugged his shoulders. And, she thought, now what? There was a small park along a nearby river. After they dressed, they headed there in silence, but hand in hand. The park has a number of benches. They picked one and sat. It was a little cool, so she cuddled up to him. They sat there for a while and just watched the water. Ronnie finally said, "Honey. What's wrong?" He wouldn't look at her and said, "I haven't been completely truthful with you." She sat back a little so she could look at him and said, "About what?" "Me." "You?" "Yeah. You were completely upfront with me about Amy. And I should have told you right then and there. Did you have something with a guy or something?" "No. It's about clothes." "Clothes?" "Yeah. I like to wear girls' clothes." "You like to wear girls' clothes?" "When I was young, I used to sneak my older sister's panties and wear them. And, as I got older and was left home alone, I wore other things of hers and Mom's. I actually dressed up completely many times. It was something that I just had to do. I don't know why. I did it through high school and especially after you went back to France." He finally looked at her. There were tears in his eyes. She wiped them away, and then asked, "Why are you telling me this?" "I just wanted you to know. You're not still doing this, are you?" "I haven't for a while." But? I thought that after I met you it would end. Those months in France, I never really thought about it. But, what you did in Majorca, and then buying those panties for me, stirred things in more than one way. When I gave you the panties to wear? Yeah. And, seeing you in your wedding things. My wedding things? You were so pretty, and so were they. You still want to do this, don't you?" He looked back down at the ground, and said, "Yes." She got up, walked down to the riverbank, and stood there for a while. Finally, she turned around, walked back to him, and sat down. He looked at her, with tears still in his eyes. She wiped them away again, and he said, "Hate me? Don't you?" "Absolutely not. I don't hate you. I love you with every ounce of my being. I just wish you would have told me earlier. So you wouldn't have married me." Jason Allen Blackwell. That is the last time I want to hear that kind of talk. Sorry. You're going to have to give me a little time to let this sink in. You have all the time in the world. And, if you want me not to dress, I'll try. On their slow walk back to the apartment, she hugged his arm very tightly. And, as they walked in the door, she turned and kissed him. Then she said, "If I ever hear any more talk about us not being married, I will divorce you. And, being Catholic, that very hard to do. Do you understand, mister?" "Yes, ma'am." And, she kissed him again. On Wednesday they were sitting and studying at the kitchen table when Ronnie said, "I found a couple books." "A couple books?" "On crossdressing, and they're very interesting." "Oh." "And, I was surprised to find them in the college library." "And?" "I've learned a lot. That this is something that you can't help doing. It's just part of you. And, no one has ever found a cure for it. But, I do have a question for you." "Okay." "What?" She looked him squarely in the eyes, and asked, "Do you want to become a girl?" "No." "Why?" "The books say that most guys that crossdress are completely heterosexuals. That some do it for the sexual excitement, and some because of their love of women and the clothes. And, there are some that have a feeling that they are a girl trapped in a guy's body, and want to become a full-time girl through surgery. No. I'm happy with who I am. I think it was an excitement thing at first, but now I just love the clothes, how they feel, and how they make me feel. She smiled, nodded yes, and went back to studying. He looked at her for a minute, then asked, "Can I read the books?" Without looking up, she answered, "When I'm done." Nothing more was said on the subject until Friday afternoon. Jason walked into the apartment, and Ronnie was sitting at the kitchen table studying. He walked over and gave her a kiss. She smiled at him and said, "Hi. How was school?" "Fine. I'm just bored with these freshman classes." "Me too. I finished the books. And? There's something in the bedroom for you." He just looked at her. "And," she added, "go look." He headed for the bedroom, with her following. Once in the room, he looked around and didn't see anything. He turned and looked at her with a questioning look. She said, "Look in your underwear drawer." He walked over to his chest of drawers, pulled open one of the drawers, and looked in. Turned to look at her, and she said, "You said that they were comfortable. So, I thought that you might like to have more than the 3 pairs that we brought home from Majorca." "Are you telling me something?" "Yes." "What?" "That I'm willing to explore your thing for girls' clothes. But, at a slow pace." "My pace." He looked at her for a few seconds, then said, "I can handle that. And, like I told you in Majorca, you looked sexy in satin panties, and I meant that. You can wear them as little or as much as you want." He walked over to her, kissed her, and hugged her. That night he took her out to dinner, and while they were sitting there, she said, "Tell me?" "Tell you what?" "How you started." "How I started what?" "Started dressing in girls' clothes." Looking around the restaurant, he said, "Here?" "Sure. But, someone will hear. There isn't anyone sitting close to us." Looking down at the table, Jason began, "I think I was 8 or 9, and I had just gotten out of the shower. I was starting to put on my clothes, when I noticed a pair of my sister Beth's panties on the clothes hamper. I don't know what made me do it, but I walked over and touched them. They were soft, smooth, and pretty. They were satin and a dark blue. I picked them up, looked at them, and slipped them on. They felt so soft and comfortable, so much more than my jockey shorts. I took them off very quickly, but I was hooked. A week or so later, I was in the basement playing with my train set. Mom was doing some washing, but she was upstairs working on supper. She yelled down for me to take the clothes that were in the dryer out and put them in the basket. And then take the clothes from the washer and put them in the dryer. I opened the dryer, and there were the same panties, twisted up with one of Beth's bras. She was only 2 years older than I was, but had already started wearing bras. I took the clothes out of the dryer, but kind of set the bra and panties aside. There was a small room in the basement that I had turned into my own little clubhouse. I kept my comic book collection there, some toys, and the trains that I wasn't using. I quickly grabbed the panties and bra, took them into my clubhouse, took off my clothes, and slipped the panties on. I looked at the bra, trying to figure out how to put it on. I figured out the back part, with the hooks, somehow had to fasten to the other back part. I finally wrapped it around my chest, and fastened the 2 parts together in front. Then I turned it around my chest until the cups were in front. Then I slipped my arms through the straps. It looked funny, the small cups with nothing in them. But, I liked what I was seeing and feeling. Again, I took them off quickly, and put them in the basket. Jason looked up at Ronnie, who was looking at him very intently, and with interest. She smiled at him and said, "Go on. You really want the whole story? Please." "Okay." We kept a bag in the basement that we put used, but wearable, clothes in for a thrift store. These clothes were usually too small, out of fashion, or something. It wasn't long before I was checking the bag out regularly, and one day the dark blue undergarments were in the bag. I took them and hid them in my clubhouse. It wasn't long until I had a number of things hidden there. And was sneaking them up to my room so that I could wear them at night. We always went shopping for clothes before school started, Mom, my sisters, and me. And I used to hate being ushered through the stores looking at girls' things. But after I had started wearing things, I couldn't wait. It was fun looking at all the pretty things. My wardrobe changed regularly. I'd put clothes from my hiding place that I no longer wore into the bag and take out something else. As I got older and was left alone at home, I would check out my sister's closet and try on skirts, blouses, shoes, and dresses. I learned that I could fill out her bras by stuffing them with socks. I really enjoyed dressing up. I felt comfortable and strangely calm and relaxed. That's about it. Ever get caught? No. But a close call. Well. Nosy, aren't you? Jason said with a smile. With a little smile, Ronnie said, no. Just curious. One day, like I did when everyone was gone, I changed. I knew that no one would be back for hours, so I went the whole way. Bra, panties, pantyhose, blouse, skirt, and shoes. I was laying on my bed, dressed, reading, and I fell asleep. I was startled awake by my mom's voice, yelling that she was home and needed help with packages from the store. I jumped off my bed, kicked the shoes under my bed, grabbed my guy clothes, headed for the bathroom, and I yelled down to her that I'd be down as soon as I went to the bathroom. I quickly changed and hid the clothes in the hamper. Later, I was able to get everything back where it belonged without anyone finding out. And it was a good month before I dressed again. Might have been good for your mom to catch you. How? With a sly grin, Ronnie said, she may have been supportive and bought you your own clothes. One evening at the end of the fall semester, they were cuddled up on the couch watching a movie, and she asked, why would a guy want to wear a bra? Huh? They don't have upper parts, so why would a guy want to wear undergarments? I guess it's something to do with the female mystique. It's a piece of their clothing. A piece that covers and supports something that is very feminine. You've worn nylons? Yes. Hosiery. Why? Because they make your legs look sexy and feel smooth. But yours are hairy. I know. Ever want to shave them? Never thought much about it. She cuddled closer and didn't say anything more. That's all for now. See you in the next video. For more interesting stories, please subscribe to our channel, and for exclusive content, please join us on Patreon. Link in the comment.